Bismillah. Assalamu alaikum and welcome to this mini case study where I've got Sister Rafia Bhatti, who is a colleague of mine, someone who's been in the teaching field longer than I have. We're both tutors. I've been honored to have tutored her children. But she approached me for some coaching, business coaching, but alongside time management and high performance coaching. And what I'm really grateful. First of all, Assalamu alaikum, Sister Rafia. Thank you for joining us.
Assalam, Tushar. How are you?
I'm fantastic, thank you. What I'm looking forward to asking her is just the perspective of how time management, productivity, and high performance can combine with business coaching to give a much better solution. So, Rafia, can you describe why you wanted business support in the first place?
I wanted to set up a new business. I'm actually doing a course on something which was new to what I had done in the past, and I was scared to let go of. Currently, I was working with as a private tutor, and I wanted to sort of completely change my career. And obviously, it was new territory for me, and I wasn't sure whether there was a market out there and whether people would actually pay pay good money for that professional experience. And Tushar obviously has gone from a teaching background to something quite new as well. So for me, he was a good coach because I saw his transition. Within a very short time, how he made so much progress, mashallah.
So for you, it's kind of like it's right at the beginning. It's in the early stages of launching and trying to set up something new. But there's a lot of questions, there's a lot of doubts, and you want to know the best way to do it. Now, the interesting thing is, when you worked with me, you came on the VISTA program initially.
I did, yes.
And the VISTA program, there's a lot of time management in there, a lot about a lot about work-life balance, a lot about productivity, basically organizing your life and balancing it with deen and dunya and organizing your time. Now, you could have looked at that and said, well, no, I just want a business specialist program. How beneficial was it doing it that way, learning about time management, and how has that impacted your business? Because some people might think, well, look, isn't that wasting time? Isn't that, you're spending all this time talking about deen or working about your timetable and your schedule, but don't you want to just work on your business? Can you explain how that was useful and helpful for you?
The thing is, it's like having so many different roles that I was playing, with teacher, I work in a pharmacy, studying as well. I never found the time to move forward and invest in my business. The VISTA program allowed me to come up with techniques where I managed to achieve what I wanted throughout that day, to have time then to reinvest into, and then, take my business further. It was actually making small changes, but had big effects at the end of the day.
Fantastic. Yeah, that's really good because a lot of people forget that part of the jigsaw, which is that you can have all the greatest ideas in the world, but if you don't have the time or the energy or the motivation to do it, you're just drowning in all your other responsibilities. It's never going to lift off, is it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, no, I love that. And then you got quite ahead in terms of can you give an example of some of the milestones you reached in terms of business goals and other goals which you managed to achieve?
I always used to procrastinate every day. I wanted to do certain things every day, but through VISTA, I set my schedule for the day. Every day I would have 3 sort of hits, and for me to have a productive day, those 3 hits would have been achieved. And the other things like the cooking and the cleaning, those were no longer the priority. Those were done when in between my main tasks, and so all my energy went into maintaining these tasks throughout the day, and not the end of the day where I had no energy left to do them.
Fantastic. I love that. Final question to you, Rafia. In terms of the VISTA program, a lot of people sometimes they find it hard to understand is that they try to do everything themselves, right? They try to figure out productivity by themselves, maybe get a book, maybe go on a YouTube video, and maybe try to figure out the business themselves by just asking people and just try and get free advice and stuff. What would you say, like in terms of the VISTA program, working with me in particular, in terms of having WhatsApp support, having coaching calls, having group calls? What are the elements of the program, do you think, which make it such a big difference compared to trying to do it yourself? If someone's watching this thinking, is this something they should consider? How could you describe the difference between going on a program like this compared to trying to do it?
It's like it was a stepwise process where basically at the start we were sort of looked at our roles and what we wanted to achieve, and those roles then sort of dictated our priorities, and then the priorities became into action. So, you know, you had like this, you know, it's like this, each time there was a milestone set, rather than just trying to have, it's like sort of going for a drive, you know, each section was broken down, so you knew what the next step was, and Shah would support you into, you know, making the next stage more achievable. And, you know, it was easier to do rather than just think about, you know, you by yourself and stuff. So you know, you had a clear vision of what you had to do, and what these were agreed with Tushar.
It's me, by the way. Yeah, it sounds like you're talking about someone else. Clearly, we're talking about our coach at the time.
Tushar.
Fantastic. So yeah, fine. Yeah, so Jazakallah for all that. And in terms of what would you say was the most useful parts of the support? What did you find in terms of as a coaching package in terms of support? What did you find most useful? Was it the group calls, or one-to-one calls, or coaching calls?
I think the one-to-one
through it?
calls I found very supportive, you know, because that was about me and what I wanted to do, and you know, Tushar gave me the space to think that, you know, my dreams, to try and make them a reality. Whereas before it was just a dream, but now, inshallah, I'm hoping that, you know, that going towards my dream and hopefully get those steps in process to achieve them.
Absolutely. That's a lovely way to end, because so many people with business ideas, it is just a dream. It's something they think, I'll do it in 6 months, in 1 year.
Yeah.
And alhamdulillah, with you now, you've already started, the ball's rolling, and you're
Alhamdulillah.
realizing now that no, this is real, this is a project, and we're still working on it, and we're still, but alhamdulillah, at least now you know that this is not something which has to be put off for next year, the year after. This is possible. This is something you're already working towards. And inshallah, this is not just a dream, it's a project, and it's going to get done, inshallah.
Inshallah.
Fantastic.
Inshallah.
Thank you so much for your time,
Take
Sister
care.
Rafia.
Jazakallah.
And,
Thank you.
take care, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.